Hey foodies, we are having chopsuey tonight. So here are all the ingredients that we'll be using tonight. We have 2 cans of bean sprout. We have the chicken and the vegetables with the baby corn, the 2 cans of watercress. You have the soy sauce. I'm using light soy sauce, the fried noodles, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. The meat, of course, which is pork chops. And we have the onion, bell pepper, and celery. I'm going to chop those up kind of, coarse chop. And then what I'm going to do here is wash my meat. These are about, I think about maybe 7 or 8 pork chops that's in this bowl. What I'm going to do is thoroughly wash them, and I'll be using a little bit of white vinegar. Sometimes I use apple cider vinegar if I don't have the white vinegar. And or I might add a little bit of salt to help with the abrasion, to help scrape off some of the extra debris that's left on the pork chops here. So once I'm done cleaning these pork chops, I will cut the meat away from the bone, and I will save the bone for either pinto beans, or I'll save it for soup, or I might even make a stock with it and save it for something that I'll use in one of my meals. So once I get done cleaning everything off with the vinegar water, I'm going to make sure I cut the meat down into chunks and make sure, we have it prepared to cook. But before that, I just have to make sure there's no murkiness left in that water. That's a big thing to me, a big deal to me. I just don't like a lot of blood and stuff left over, especially when it comes to pork and chicken and things like that. So I always make sure I wash my meat that I can wash thoroughly. So after I get this taken care of, you want to go ahead and get to the next process and cut the meat up, chop it up into chunks, and get ready to add it to your wok. You want your wok to at least be at least 350 degrees. And you want it to be on medium-high heat. That's what I use. So now I'm going to add the meat to the wok, and I want to cook the meat on all sides for at least a couple of minutes. Now I did add like about maybe almost a half a cup of oil in here. It was kind of a little bit too much because I'm going to end up having to probably drain some of it later on down the line during this cooking process, but I won't have to drain too much. So we're going to cook that on both sides, and once I get both sides, I'll add the seasoning. As you see, I'm going to turn this meat here and get it all cooked up for you guys. Let me tell you, with this dish, oh man, this meat is going to be so tender. It's so good. I'm telling you, this is really a go-to meal when you want to do something quick and easy. So yes, we're going to put the seasonings in, and I'm going to make sure that all of the meat is coated with the seasoning. As you can see here, I'm stirring it vigorously. I want to make sure, like I said, to cook it on both sides or all sides. And I'll let that cook for a couple of minutes before adding the vegetables. I'm going to add the celery, onion, and bell pepper. Of course, it's just a fine, quick chop on it. You don't have to make it small unless you choose to make it smaller, a smaller cut. I like it to be chunky because, I love texture. It's all about the texture for me. So I'll cook the vegetables here until the onions are glossy and the bell pepper and everything is broken down. And when you're cooking this dish, it's going to produce liquid. So what you want to do is make sure as it's cooking, the liquid will cook out of it and go back to the oil. As you can see here, you see that the liquid is starting to cook out of the meat and it's starting to render down more. You're seeing more of the oil. Once you see that, you want to probably drain a little bit of oil out of this. You don't want it to be this much oil. I kind of was heavy-handed. So just drain a little bit, and then what we're going to do after we let this cook a little bit more and drain it, we're going to add flour to it because we want to make a little roux. And when you add your flour, you're going to want your flour to cook for a couple of minutes so you can cook the flour taste out of it. So I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of flour here. And then I'll stir this after adding the flour until the flour cooks out. You don't want to have a flour taste. So you're going to cook it for at least 2 or 3 minutes. Like I said, it's still oil in there. It's about maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil in there that the flour is going to soak up. So I'll let this cook As long as it doesn't burn, you're okay. Okay. So we're stirring it, letting it cook here. This is going to be so good. I cannot wait to eat this. I just love this dish so much. My family loves it too. And I know we may not even have leftovers if I don't watch them. They're going to tear this dish up. Yes, they are. So now what I'm going to do after getting all this stirred up, I'm going to actually add in my vegetables. And I'm going to leave the juice in the cans. Not all of them. I left the juice in the cans for the main vegetables, the sprouts, and I drained the other cans because I didn't want it to be too watery. I wanted to have just a perfect consistency of that nice gravy-like sauce. It won't be too thick and it won't be too thin. So you want to incorporate everything, all of the ingredients from your can. Make sure everything is well mixed. As you can see, I'll be doing that here. I'm going to put in my other watercress and my bean sprouts and the baby corn and just mix everything thoroughly. This really is a go-to meal. You know, it's economical, it's easy, it's a great inspired dish, Asian dish that most people I think would love. So after I add all the ingredients, I will start to add my my soy sauce. Now when I add my soy sauce, I'm a little heavy-handed. You know, with the soy sauce, it's low sodium. I'm trying to cut back on my sodium, so it's not too salty. So I do add a little extra because I want it to have a certain color and texture to this meal. And you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to add the soy sauce now. And I kind of just feel my way. Of course, I'll have the instructions and directions on how to make this dish down in the description. But I kind of feel my way through. You know, it's all about how you feel, you know, your taste. You can adjust the taste to your liking. You know, this is your dish, so you have to do it the way you feel you want your dish to turn out. Now, I really didn't have to add any more liquid to this. I'm going to let this cook down, and you'll see what I'm looking for at the end process. Look at that. Delicious. This is an excellent meal. By the time I get done, oh, man, now this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what you're looking for. You see that nice gravy? Oh my God, it's so good. Over a bowl of rice. Oh my goodness. You are going to love this dish, believe me. You see how beautiful that is? That's lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and plate up now. There's my bowl, my glass of Kool-Aid. Got to plate that rice up right there. Oh, yes. Look at that. Beautiful rice. The rice turned out great. Just right. And now we're going to ladle on maybe two ladles of delicious sauce on top. And what you could do with this, you can add your fried noodles. I always put green onions, fried noodles, and some sriracha sauce. Oh my goodness, or your favorite sauce that you love. This is so delicious. I cannot wait to taste it. Oh, I gotta taste it now. Hot. I'm looking for that perfect bite too. Oh yes. Delicious. I'm telling you. I love how the watercress just snaps in your mouth. There we go. Oh my God, here we go. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Yes. You and your family would love this dish. I'm telling you, it's a great inspired Asian dish, chopsuey. My mother made it for us when I was a kid, and I make it for my family, and I would love for you to make it with your family. A great dish to have. Thank you so much for coming by my channel. I appreciate it. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Take care.